Hello, everyone. I'm Adam. Thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. As always, we are going to run through latest updates, what we have been working on, what we are currently working on. That's what falls into that category. We are going to do a giveaway. This week is an Avatar Legends digital bundle. So that is going to include the core book and one Shitong's Adventures Guide, which all of the content is amazing, and this would be something really, really great to add to your collection. So pay attention to chat for all the prompts there to potentially win that. And then upcoming, that is what is on deck to be worked on. So that's essentially the way to think about that is the next level of things that we are going to do after we finish whatever we are currently working on. So that is in the upcoming category. And then, as always, you can ask me anything, and I do mean anything. I don't shy away from any question that literally only the ones that I can't answer are the ones that I don't answer. So you can ask me anything, and all you got to do is type the word question in Twitch chat, and then follow that by the question itself, and then it will be magically collected by Demibot, which is our friendly robot that is crawling chat and finding all those questions. So you can start asking those now, and we will be pulling those in auto magically. All right, let's jump into the latest updates. So at the platform level, we have federated login, which is just that's kind of the summary way to say that this is how you can log into Demiplane. You can continue to log in to Demiplane using your Demiplane direct account. All of that's still there. You can continue to do that, but you will also have some additional options for your convenience, such as Google and Facebook and Twitch. All of that is going to go into our next release. So, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. And then I also wanted to call out, because we've had many requests for this, we are working on PayPal payments. So PayPal payments are work in progress. I would say that at this point, they're on the bubble as to whether they're going to be in the next release or if they're going to be in a follow-up release. But either way, working on PayPal, it's getting close there. And when it comes to PayPal, what is really significant with PayPal is that's a really good thing that we're looking forward to is the buy now, pay later option with PayPal. So we've heard from you that is a very popular option, especially when you are working with something like the content in a Pathfinder Ultimate Bundle that is 60 plus books. I think we're getting up to like 65 books maybe at this point in time. So when you want to make those very large purchases, PayPal gives you some great options to do that. So that is on the way, and we'll share more as soon as that is out. So for Pathfinder Nexus in early access, out now, if you missed it last week, we have Gatewalkers #1 is out. So that adventure path has kicked off. And we do have Fist of the Ruby Phoenix, the compiled edition, available on Pathfinder Nexus as well. Both of them are fantastic. You should check them out if you're planning to run something in Pathfinder. I have seen that there are many people who are trying that particular game out in the last few weeks. And so these are great, this is great bits of content that you can use as you're starting your journey there. We are working in the back catalog on Agents of Edgewatch as the next adventure path. Keeping in mind that we have all of the rule books, all of the Lost Omens content available, all the standalone adventures available on Pathfinder Nexus now. The adventure paths are the piece that we are currently catching up. And on the character tools, we are working really hard on spells. And due to that, we ended up, we've been targeting builds on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And right now with spells, it is a big rock. So we are moving a very big rock. And so in addition to the federated login piece, with what's going on with spells and also some performance improvements. So when we started the alpha, we told everybody just point blank, hey, this stuff is not going to work incredibly well because it's not going to be performant at all because we haven't been under the hood at all looking at performance. We have put in one performance tweak to this point, and then we are going to do our next big performance pass that will be hitting in the next build as well. So with those big rocks of federated login, introducing the framework for spells, so getting the core foundation in for spells, and what's going on with the performance updates. Those big rocks, last Thursday weren't quite ready, and if we pushed them out there into the build, it would break a lot of other things. We are falling into that same circumstance today. We were really, really close, but not quite there. And so instead of breaking things in the current alpha environment, we're going to hold that back until Thursday. So the build this week is targeted for Thursday, and barring anything going wrong there, we should be seeing all three of those elements with the updated login, the next pass of performance updates, and then the core framework for spells going into place. And so what I mean by that is if you are a wizard and you go to select your spells, you're going to be able to do that. Your spells are going to show up. You're going to be able to keep track of your spells. You'll be able to find which spells need to go into which slots. So all of that part is the piece that's going to be introduced first. And then we will have, additional layers of spells management going in where, for instance, you get spells from a different source that is not just the spell casting class feature and so on. So all of that is targeted for later this week on Thursday, but no build today as we're prepping for that. I also want to put out a note out there real quick that generally, when I'm talking about we're putting things together, and if we release things as they are right now, it's going to break things. I want to emphasize that that is an alpha only kind of situation. Clearly, when we get into open beta and into full launch, as everything like that is coming together, we would not be developing in a way that in progress development would impact finished things. That's just an artifact of the alpha because we are trying to move as quickly as we can here, and we're not paying too much attention to what they call in the biz continuous integration. So we're not partitioning off builds and then merging everything back in. That is a practice that we absolutely do and will use as we move, as I said, past open beta. But here in the alpha, we're trying to do things as quickly as we can and iterate as quickly as we can. So that is the reason that we're holding off on the last couple of builds there. But we should be back into the swing of things coming this Thursday with those a few of those big rocks in place now. On the Vampire Nexus side, the character tools, we are working on those now. So we're getting everything ready to go and greasing the skids as much as we can for as we are ready to start picking up with that here in the next couple of weeks. And then on the Alien RPG Nexus front, Destroyer of Worlds, we are kind of putting the finishing touches on that. It looks like this week we should be submitting it to Free League for the final approval this week. So I hope that we have some news about that one releasing and becoming available the week, next week, or if there's any delay in that review process, possibly the week after that. But it's coming very soon. All right, let's see what's next. Giveaway time. Giveaway time. So all you got to do, I think people have probably already been doing this, but you just hashtag epic loot, and we will be drawing a winner for that sometime soon. Let's see, is chat saying anything here? Yeah, they're just pay attention to what's going on in chat. We're going to give that away, and I wish everyone good luck out there. Avatar Legends is an incredible game. I really adore what's going on there. Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra are two of my absolute favorite shows. I'm not even going to say animated shows because I don't even make that distinction most of the time, but two of my absolute favorite shows. And I love the way that this game has captured the feel of that beloved universe. And so, if you haven't tried this one out, I definitely encourage you to take a look, and maybe you'll get a jump start on that by winning this bundle here today. So, good luck to everyone. All right, upcoming. So, as I talked about previously, Tuesdays and Thursdays are where we target releases. We haven't made that the last Thursday and then today, but we do expect that to resume this coming Thursday in a couple of days here. And we have been prioritizing fixes over features, and then all of that is headed toward the open beta. So, as we have fixes coming in, we appreciate all the feedback that is coming in through the closed alpha. We're getting to that point where we've seen so much excitement out there and people wanting to get into the alpha. So we've cast the net a little wider, a little faster than we probably would have ordinarily. And so I do want to just assure everyone out there that if you're providing feedback on the forums and Discord and other places, we are seeing that. So even if you're not getting a response, super quickly, or it's been sitting out there a little while, please know that we are prioritizing collecting the feedback over replying and responding to the feedback. Okay, so that's not to say that we're not going to respond, but we are making sure that we're noting all of the feedback that's coming in from all of the sources, and we have a process that we review everything. We've got a couple of touch points to make sure that, like, hey, is this report the same as this other report? Is this something new that's being asked for here? Is this something that what's the root cause of what this person's bringing up? So all of that process is in full swing, and we are seeing all the feedback, and we appreciate it. And many of the things that are being reported are things that are on the list, things that we know are not in place yet, and that we know will be in place prior to open beta. But it still is helpful when we see that, for when we get to those points, we're able to just pull up a quick reference to where people have encountered this before, and it gives us additional information that helps us when we get to that part of the list. So I appreciate all the help during the closed alpha. Really excited to see everything continue through open beta when we are when all of this is kind of ready for prime time. So looking forward to it. Definitely still working through homebrew and what that's going to look like. And that is another very big rock that we're working on. Game content wise, Treasure Vault is soon. I think it's this month, right? Yeah. So I get a little confused on release dates sometimes. Thankfully, we have a game content team that is on top of all of the actual dates. But Treasure Vault's already available to me, I guess is what I can say. And so to me, it's hard to think about when it's gonna be publicly available. But it is a really, really good book. And I believe that is coming out a little bit later this month. And then we're working on Firebrands. We've got the content for that, looks great. And then Rage of Elements is a little bit further down in that roadmap. Vampire-Side Children of the Blood is the one that we are currently working on. Hope to have a little bit more news about that in the next couple of weeks. And then we have the last two Alien RPG books that we will be catching up on, Heart of Darkness and Chariot of the Gods. All right. I think I blew through all of that so we can get to questions. And I have a few questions in here, but if you have, it's less than I expected to see. So if you're just kind of waiting back because, oh, he never gets to my question anyway, this is your chance. It looks like we've definitely got some runway for the questions here. So the first one here, Aang or Korra? And I mean, that's that choose between your children kind of thing that is really, really tough for me. I guess at the end of it, if I just had to pick one, I'm going to say Aang. And I think that it's more that it was just he was the original that I saw the first time. And so another way to put it is I've loved him longer, maybe. But yeah, it's very, very difficult for me to choose. Absolutely adore both of those series. I think that they both of them stand on their own right, and are just fascinating, wonderful worlds that I love to engage in. I am I just cannot wait for the inevitable Earthbender avatar that is next in the cycle. I hope that that happens while I'm still on this spinning rock, and that happens in my lifetime. I think there's probably a good chance it will. But yeah, I love this universe, and again, Magpie has captured the feel of this universe in such an incredible way, and I love what they've done with this game. You should check it out. Speaking of kids, too, I do want to just kind of do a shout out because yeah, I guess it's tomorrow. So both of my sons have the same birthday, and they're 4 years apart, but they have the same. So they're not twins. 4 years apart, they have the same birthday. That was not planned, by the way, complete and pure accident. But both of them are celebrating a birthday tomorrow, and these are the big some big ones. So oldest son is 18 years old, so I'm just like I'm done now. 18 years old, and then the younger one is 14. So we've got some big plans, tonight through tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be hitting up some kind of Stranger Things experience. I don't even know what it really means, but my wife got us tickets, and we are going to have a Stranger Things experience. So really, really looking forward to it. And happy birthday to both of my sons. All right, let's see. Next, Elf Tarot. Is there a way to see what we do own on Demiplane without checking every book? That is an excellent question. And so I assume you're talking about without going to each individual nexus and seeing what you own. This is something that I've got to check, because this is one of those situations where I can't remember what has made it live yet versus what was a design mock-up that we were going to make live at some point in the future, about an order history. But I can tell you that if that currently doesn't exist, which I think it doesn't yet, it is something that is definitely out there, that we are going to be doing. We also have an option that is called My Library, that is a little kind of book icon that you can access from the Demiplane menu bar at the very, very top. And that is not where we want that to be yet. Like, there's not sorting in that area. There's not a way for you to, it's got some inconsistencies with the way that it opens up in that sidebar. It's something we're going to be polishing up a great deal. And in the future, you're going to be able to hit that My Library icon and be able to see all of the books on your virtual shelf there. So, it's not where we want any of that to be, but definitely note that all of that is coming, and you'll be able to see which books you own in a much, much more straightforward way in the future. Scott R1C, is a hot dog a sandwich? I say yes. Yeah, and this is where for me, again, I can't get universal with this, but subjectively, I disagree. I don't think that it's a sandwich. And I think the strange thing about that is I wouldn't even say that a burger is a sandwich necessarily. And so I think that if I don't allow for a burger to be a sandwich, then it's really, really difficult to justify a hot dog being there. I can't really tell you the reasoning behind that, but it is something. It is something that I feel. So I'm just telling you how I feel. Doug C plays RPGs. I do too, Doug. Are you watching Legend of Vox Machina, and what do you think of it? I have not watched the second season of the show yet. I have so much television in my proverbial queue that I'm trying to consume right now, that it feels like if I am not working, that all I am doing is watching television. So especially in the last couple of months. I'm trying to, get a little healthier, get back in fighting shape a little bit. So I'm trying to, squeeze out some time for that. And I'm behind on some shows. Definitely behind on the second season of Legend of Vox Machina. I do have to say though that I was never able to keep up with that campaign as it was happening, and in the past life jumped in right on the second campaign with some sponsorship, and we made cartoons and songs and all kinds of things. So I'm pretty partial to the Mighty Nine. So I was very excited to see all of that news. I think it was last week. Time as a construct. I think it was last week. So excited to see that. It is certainly something that I will be catching up on though, because I love what they're doing and I love great animation. Cassius 335 Marvel RPG delayed until August. I saw that. Yes. Why does life hate us? I don't think life does, but I think sometimes it might seem that way. And then Upside X-Men for 2024, but still. So I guess the question is there, why does life hate us? And as I said, I don't think it does, but maybe sometimes it seems like that way. But yeah, lots of fun coming for the Marvel RPG, and X-Men is definitely my jam. So really excited to see what happens there. Where's the mead? Are there any plans to give a demo of the current state of the Pathfinder 2e character tools, or do we need to wait for the open beta? That's a great question, and the answer is we will certainly demo more and more of this as we get closer to the open beta. So as it stands right now, not spending a ton of time doing that because, first impressions matter. It's one of the reasons that as we, peeled back the curtain a little bit and showed, let people into this alpha, we really went overboard in saying this is not finished at all. Pardon the mess, under construction, 1990s GeoCities, gifts going on there, that kind of thing, because it's just not ready. As we get closer to a point where there are pieces that are, polished to the degree that, we would consider, hey, that's closer to final, then you will definitely see demos going on here on dev updates and in other ways, and video content will start showing off a lot more of what's happening. So we just got to get a little further down the road, I think, is the shorter answer to that. Neurolancer, are you planning on implementing consumables in Pathfinder 2e like potion scrolls, talismans, and such? Yes, it is something that we are looking into. We're looking into managing that efficiently and effectively, it's going to go out initially in kind of this initial state, but we will continue to iterate and make that a more polished experience. Milestone 20. Will it be possible for Demiplane to have compendium for Free League's Lord of the Rings role playing? No news on that. I can tell you that I would love to see that. Personally, I would love to see that. It is a fantastic game, but when we are working with Free League, since Free League does so much, working with licensors out there and licensing, content from IP holders, each of the games that we are going to eventually end up bringing to a Nexus, we have to individually get those, signed off and cleared. And right now, Lord of the Rings is not one of those, but I can tell you that we are, especially on, for our part, we are trying to make that happen. And as we have news, we will share it. Mergon, I got just a couple more of these. So if you got any others, try to squeeze them in, under the, slowly coming down door. And then I will, dodge roll under it or dive roll under it. And then I will reach back through and grab my hat and get out of here. All right, Mergon, any plan to allow a book to be viewed in full screen mode instead of just a pop out dark mode? So a couple of questions in there. I think I'd like to know what you mean by full screen mode a little bit more there before I fully answer. But we are definitely going to be looking for ways to make reading and consuming the content, as easy as it can be. We already are very happy with how accessible and just slick to use the digital reader is, especially on mobile and places like that where PDFs. It's hard for PDFs to go those places. We love how interactive the digital reader content can be. So if there are ways to view it in different ways that continue to increase that convenience or ultimately just the delight of reading the content, then those are things that we're going to be very open with. But without knowing a little bit more specifically what you mean, I can't confirm or deny any of what that might mean. Dark mode is definitely something that is on the list. So we have from the start been, we haven't. We've been making the scaffolding for eventual dark and light modes to exist. We just don't have the connections in place because we've chosen to prioritize some other things. But when we get to the point where dark mode is next on the list, that process is going to be. We're not going to have to redo everything. We've had dark mode in mind from the beginning, and we will get there at some point when that point in the list comes up. Scott R1C, can you give any hints on the new Nexus coming down the pipeline? Themes, anything, man. We got to know. And all actuality, thanks for all you guys do. Man, like I can't. I don't know. There's nothing that I could say about the next one that we're going to share. And by the way, I don't think that you'll have to wait too much longer. You potentially will know this month. And if it's not this month, I feel like you'll definitely know by next month. But the problem is I'm such a big fan of it that anything. No, being such a big fan, I know that anything I said, people would be able to figure it out. Even if it's a deep cut, I could say some kind of deep cut hint, and people will figure it out. So sorry, but this is one of the few that I just can't answer yet. But maybe I gave you a little bit of something by saying I was a very big fan. So that's all you're getting. All right. Of course, I am a fan of a lot of things. Lynn Carius, my birthday is on the 2nd. Can you wish me a birthday? Lynn Carius, I wish you a very, very happy birthday. I hope that you are loved and that you have a genuinely wonderful, wonderful day on your birthday. Happy birthday. Let's see. Oh yeah, Cassius 335. This month, today's the 31st. I keep thinking that it's February. So revising my statement that by this month earlier, I meant February, and by next month earlier, I meant March. So we'll see soon. Thank you for the. This is like in pardon the interruption on ESPN when they have that errors, like thing correcting it. So thank you for allowing me to correct that. Let's see. We got one more here. Demiplane RPG. Hi, Josh. If your current favorite dinosaur were to run a food truck, what kind of food truck would it be? We're wrapping up with the really important one today. Honestly, I really am into just barbecue, like pit barbecue style thing. And so I would say that when my it would be very hard for the Dreadnoughtus to run a food truck. So we'll have to go with like a Deinonychus or something. But we'll have a Deinonychus running just a good southern pit barbecue food truck. And I'm probably saying that because, honestly, I'm here in the middle of the Rocket City in Huntsville, Alabama. And, honestly, like we got a little bit of a dearth of just great. We've got good, but we got a dearth of great barbecue right now. And so if you're in the Huntsville, Alabama area and you're into barbecue, I would probably keep you in business by myself if you started a food truck. So, if you happen to be a dinosaur and you want to start a food truck, then you'll definitely be kept in business. All right, that is it for today. I appreciate everyone joining me. Hope everyone has a great week. We have another new episode of Children of Arete tonight. Things are getting really, really tense. And there's like, underwater involved. So would you kindly come and watch that tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific? Appreciate it. Talk to you next week. Later, Gators.